Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name's Ellis and I'll be your host for today's quiz, which is all about literature. We have split our quiz into some sections, and at the end of the quiz we'd love you to know how many points you scored based on our Quiz Class awards. You could be a champion, master, enthusiast, apprentice or explorer based on your score from 0 to 100, so please do let us know at the end of the video. Today's lineup then, take a look there to see all the different types of literature that we will be covering in today's quiz. We're going to start with Sumerian literature. Good luck, here's question 1. Nisaba, the Sumerian goddess, was considered the patron of what? Music and poetry, war and strategy, or writing and scribes? The answer is writing and scribes. 2. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, who gave Utnapishtim constant life after he survived the Great Flood? Gods, kings, or queens? The answer is gods. Question 3. Who's goddess of war and fertility known in Sumerian mythology? Ishtar, Inanna, or Nana? Who's goddess of war and fertility known in Sumerian mythology? Who is that? The answer is Inanna. 4. What type of Sumerian literature is known to be the first example of written poetry? Hymns, laments, or proverbs? The answer is hymns. Question 5. Which legendary figure from Sumerian mythology was given the task with obtaining rare stones? Embark, Lugalbanda, or Sargon? The answer is Embark. 6. Euphrates is frequently mentioned in Sumerian literature for its properties of chaos, life, or wealth. And I will apologise in advance for any mispronunciations of names here. There's going to be a lot of them in a literature quiz, but the answer to question 6 is life. I think Euphrates I've got right there. 7. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, who kills the bull of heaven? Is it Enkidu, Gilgamesh, or Enkidu and Gilgamesh? In the Epic of Gilgamesh, it is both of them who killed the bull of heaven, Enkidu and Gilgamesh. 8. What was the main usage of clay among the Sumerians? Making pottery, writing tablets, or creating sculptures? Well, the quiz would suggest it is writing tablets, and that is correct. 9. Which city is most closely associated with the Epic of Gilgamesh? Assur, Babylon, or Uruk? The answer is Uruk. Question 10. Enki was noted as having introduced civilization to humanity, the Akkadians, or the Babylonians? The answer is humanity. 11 is going to be our first question in Egyptian literature questions. What genre does the instruction of Tehotep belong to? Is it epic, historical, or wisdom? The answer is wisdom. 12. Anubis is famous in Egyptian literature for overseeing agriculture, protecting pharaohs, or determining the fate of souls in the afterlife. Anubis is famous for determining the fate of souls in the afterlife. The Book of the Dead is also known as coffin texts, pyramid texts, or the Egyptian Book of Going Forth by Day. Remember, we're talking about Egyptian literature here. The answer is the Egyptian Book of Going Forth by Day. 14. The Book of the Dead focuses on the creation of the world, the daily rituals of ancient Egyptians, or the afterlife journey of the deceased. The answer is the afterlife journey of the deceased. 15. An unnamed sailor is the protagonist of which ancient story? The story of Sinew, the Westcar Papyrus, or the tale of the shipwrecked sailor? The answer is the tale of the shipwrecked sailor. 16. Which god is celebrated for his role in resurrection? Horus, Osiris, or Seth? The answer is Osiris. 17. The theme of The Eloquent Peasant is heroic adventure, justice and fairness, or creation and destruction? The answer is justice and fairness. Question 18. The story of Sinew is considered a religious text, the shortest preserved narrative, or the longest preserved narrative? And that's Sinuhe, just in case I'm mispronouncing that one. The answer, though, is the longest preserved narrative. Question 19. When in Egyptian history is the hymn to Aten connected? Amarna period, Middle Kingdom, or Old Kingdom? The answer is Amarna period. 20. In the tale of the two brothers, the names of the brothers are Beta and Sikhem, Anpu and Bata, or Anubis and Horus? The answer is Anpu and Bata. Very well done if you got that one. We're moving on now to some questions on Hebrew literature. 10 questions in this section. The book of Job in the Bible is regarded as the blank piece of Hebrew literature. We want you to fill in the blank. Is the answer most poetic, most influential, or oldest? The book of Job in the Bible is regarded as the oldest piece of Hebrew literature. The Song of Songs is attributed to which figure in Hebrew literature? David, King Solomon, or Moses? The Song of Songs. The answer? King Solomon. Question 23. What is the theme of the book Ecclesiastes? God's laws, nature's beauty, or wisdom and the meaning of life? The theme of the book Ecclesiastes is wisdom and the meaning of life. 24. Nineveh is the city that God wants to send whom? Elijah, Isaiah, or Jonah? The answer is Jonah. 25. The Zohar is considered a foundational work of Jewish what? History, mysticism, or philosophy? The Zohar is considered a foundational work of Jewish mysticism. Moses leads the Israelites out of Egypt in what book of the Bible? Exodus, Leviticus, or Numbers? The answer is Exodus. Jerusalem primarily deals with the lamentations of whom? David, Isaiah, or Jeremiah? The answer is Jeremiah. 28. The Tikkun Olam in Hebrew means follow the commandments, repairing the world, or journey to the promised land. The answer we're looking for is repairing the world. Question 29. Which of the following examples are written in the Hebrew language? The Vedas, the Epic of Gilgamesh, or the Dead Sea Scrolls? So which of those texts are written in the Hebrew language? The answer is the Dead Sea Scrolls. Question 30. Which book tells the story of a Jewish queen who rescues her people? Esther, Judith, or Ruth? The answer is Esther. 31 is going to be our first question in Persian literature. Which of Ferdowsi's works is regarded as one of the best in Persian literature? The Divan, the Rubaiyat, or the Shahnameh? The answer is the Shahnameh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Here's question 32. The term Rubaiyat refers to what type of poem? Epic, sonnet, or quatrain? The answer is quatrain. Question 33. Layla and Majnun is a famous romantic epic by which author? Hafez, Nizami Ganjavi, or Omar Khayyam? The answer is Nizami Ganjavi. 34. Who wrote the well-known Masnavi in Persian? Rumi, Ferdowsi, or Omar Khayyam? The answer is Rumi. Which Persian poet is best known for his work, Gulistan? Sadi, Hafez, or Omar Khayyam? Omar Khayyam is trying his hardest to be the correct answer to one of these questions, and it's still not going to happen for him because the answer to 35 is Sadi. Which Persian poet is known for his quatrains about life, fate, and wine? Rumi, Hafez, or here he is again, Omar Khayyam? The answer is Omar Khayyam. There we go, he got his result in the end. Question 37. The Conference of the Birds by Attar is an example of what type of literary work? Allegory, epic poetry, or historical narrative? The answer is allegory. 38. Which Persian literary work tells the story of Sohrab and Rustam? Is it the Divan, the Rubaiyat, or the Shahnameh? The correct answer is the Shahnameh. 39. Hafez is an example of what type of poet? Epic, lyric, or narrative? The answer is lyric. The Persian term hekayat means epic, poem, or story. The answer is story. Moving on now to some questions about Arabic literature. Maybe this is your strong suit, let's find out. Where was the traditional hanging place for the collection of Arabic poems known as the Mu'allakat? Is it Alhambra Palace, Dome of the Rock, or Kaaba in Mecca? The answer is Kaaba in Mecca. 42. How many stories are in 1001 Nights? Are there 1001 stories, 1011, or 1111? The answer is 1001. Al-Mutanabi is considered one of the greatest poets in Arabic literature and is known for his style, called tale, narrative, or courtly verse? The answer is courtly verse. 44. What kind of poetry is meant by the term qasida in Arabic poetry? Is it ode, elegy, or narrative? The answer is ode. Which Sufi poet is known for his famous line, "I am the truth"? Was that Rumi, Sadi, or Al-Hallaj? The answer is Al-Hallaj. Question 46. Who is the protagonist in the famous Arabic folktale known as Antara ibn Shaddad? A magician, a merchant, or a warrior poet? The answer is a warrior poet. 47. Ben Shuri, an Australian chef, is known for his restaurant named the Quran, the Muqaddimah, or 1001 Nights. I'm sure if you've taken part in this quiz, you know your literature, but how well are you doing so far? The answer to 47 is the Quran. We'll now move on to 48, approaching that halfway point. What is Khalil Gibran's most famous literary work? The Prophet, the Madman, or the Earth Gods? The answer is The Prophet. 49. Who is recognised as pre-Islamic Arabia's greatest female poet? Al-Kanza, Amir ibn Kulthum, or Zainab al-Safadi? The answer is Al-Kanza. Question 50. Which poet among the following is known as an Arabic modernist pioneer? Adonis, Khalil Gibran, or Mahmud Darwish? The answer is Adonis. Next, we've got some questions on Indian literature, starting with question 51. Which well-known philosophical work can be found in the Mahabharata? Is it the Vedas, the Ramayana, or the Bhagavad Gita? The answer is Bhagavad Gita. Kalidasa is the author of what classical Sanskrit drama? Meghaduta, the Ramayana, or Shakuntala? The answer is Shakuntala. 53. Pierre Winantz is a Belgian chef renowned for his unique take on fine dining at his restaurant named Le Benardin, Comme chez soi, or Le Jules Verne. The answer is Comme chez soi. 54. In Indian literature, the term kavya means epic poetry, religious texts, or Sanskrit poetry. The answer is Sanskrit poetry. 55. What do you call an Indian collection of ancient stories focused on animals? Jataka Tales, Mahabharata, or Panchatantra? The answer is Panchatantra. 56. Who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913 for his work Gitanjali? Sri Aurobindo, Sarojini Naidu, or Rabindranath Tagore? The answer is Rabindranath Tagore. 57. Who was the author of the Indian epic The Ramayana? Is it Vyasa, Valmiki, or Kalidasa? The answer is Valmiki. Question 58. Artha Shastra is considered one of the earliest texts on literature and poetry, politics and economics, or philosophy and religion. The answer is politics and economics. 59. Tulsidas composed which Indian epic poem? Gita Govinda, Bhagavad Gita, or Ramcharitmanas? The answer is Ramcharitmanas. Again, apologies for any mispronunciations here. What creature is the protagonist in Vikramorvashia? Is it a deer, a serpent, or a celestial nymph? The answer is a celestial nymph. And we're moving on now to a brand new topic, which is Chinese literature. Which of the following is not considered a work of classic Chinese literature? The Tale of Genji, The Dream of the Red Chamber, or Romance of the Three Kingdoms? The Tale of Genji is not considered a work of classic Chinese literature. What does the ancient Chinese text I Ching mean? Book of Changes, Book of Dead, or Book of Wisdom? The answer is Book of Changes. 63. Who wrote the philosophical text Tao Te Ching? Mozi, Laozi, or Confucius? The answer is Laozi. 64. In Chinese, the Book of Songs is also known as Laiji, Yijing, or Shijing. The answer is that bottom option there, Shijing. Water Margin is considered the first work of what genre in world literature? Fiction, romance, or satirical? The answer is fiction. 66. Who wrote the famous Art of War? Laozi, Sun Tzu, or Confucius? The answer is Sun Tzu. Which book features a famous character who is half man, half monkey? Water Margin, Journey to the West, or Romance of the Three Kingdoms? The answer is Journey to the West. 68. Cao Zheqing considered his work to be one of China's four great classical novels, titled Journey to the West, The Dream of the Red Chamber, or Romance of the Three Kingdoms? The answer is The Dream of the Red Chamber. 69. The Analects is considered a foundational text of which philosophical tradition? Daoism, Buddhism, or Confucianism? The Analects is considered a foundational text of which philosophical tradition? The answer is Confucianism. 70. In classical Chinese poetry, the term Si means a religious hymn, a philosophical treatise, or a fixed form of lyric poetry? The answer is a fixed form of lyric poetry. Japanese literature now for the next 10 questions. Which is considered the world's first novel? The Odyssey, the Canterbury Tales, or the Tale of Genji? The answer is the Tale of Genji. 72. The Japanese literary work Kokin Wakashu is an example of a historical novel, a philosophical text, or a collection of poetry? The answer is a collection of poetry. Say Shahnameh wrote a classic work of reflections on court life titled The Pillow Book, The Bamboo Cutter, or The Tale of the Haiku. The answer is The Pillow Book. Question 74. A haiku typically follows which syllable pattern? 5, then 5, then 7, 5, then 7, then 5, or 7, then 5, then 7? The answer is 5, 7, 5. Ghosts and spirits are popular themes in which traditional Japanese art form? No, kabuki, or bunraku? The answer is no. The tale of Genji belongs to which historical period in Japan? Edo period, Heian period, or Meiji period? The answer is Heian period. 77. What is the name of the ancient anthology of poems from Japan? Manyoshu, Nihon Shoki, or Koken Wakashu? The answer is Manyoshu. Basho is known as the greatest writer of what in Japanese literature? Haiku, tanka, or kabuki? The answer is haiku. The Haiku Monogatari focus on which historical event? The Genpei War, the Sengoku period, or the Meiji Restoration? The answer is the Genpei War. 80. The term monogatari in Japanese literature refers to dramatic play, historical account, or fictional narrative? The answer is fictional narrative. Now we've got some questions on Greek literature. Who is the main character of the Greek epic, the Odyssey? Achilles, Odysseus, or Theseus? The answer is Odysseus. 82. Who wrote the tragedy Oedipus Rex? Was it Aeschylus, Euripides, or Sophocles? The answer is Sophocles. Argonautica tells the adventures of whom? Jason and the Argonauts, Perseus and the Gorgons, or Theseus and the Minotaur? Argonautica tells the adventures of Jason and the Argonauts. The Iliad focuses on which Greek event? The Trojan War, the Argonauts' quest, or the labours of Heracles? The answer is the Trojan War. Which Greek philosopher wrote the Republic? Plato, Aristotle, or Socrates? The Republic was written by Greek philosopher Plato. 86. Euripides wrote a Greek tragedy about a woman's revenge titled Electra, Medea, or Orestes? The answer is Medea. 87. Peleus is the father of which Greek character in mythology? Achilles, Perseus, or Theseus? The answer is Achilles. Which comedic play satirises Socrates? The clouds, the frogs, or the wasps? The answer is the clouds. The term hubris in Greek literature refers to arrogance, humility, or moral integrity. The answer is arrogance. 90. In Greek mythology, who was Perseus' mother? Danae, Cassiopeia, or Andromeda? Perseus' mother was Danae. Roman literature is the section we're going to finish on. The last 10 questions will all be about Roman literature. Who wrote the Roman epic, the Aeneid? Was it Ovid, Virgil, or Horace? The answer is Virgil. The Metamorphosis by Ovid focuses on which subject? The fall of Rome, mythical stories, or the creation of the world? The answer is mythical stories. Juvenal, a famous Roman writer, is known for his work titled Satires, the Aeneid, or the Annals? The answer is Satires. 94. The Georgics by Virgil focuses on which themes? Love and tragedy, urban life and politics, or agricultural practices and rural life? The answer is agricultural practices and rural life. Who is known as Rome's greatest orator and also wrote on rhetoric? Cicero, Virgil, or Julius Caesar? The answer is Cicero. Which Roman poet is also known for his work titled Odes? Ovid, Virgil, or Horace? The answer is Horace. 97. The collection of Carmina by Horace is known for which types of poetry? Epic, elegy, or lyric? The answer is lyric. 98. Epistulae Moralis by Seneca focuses on which subject? Moral philosophy, historical events, or political theory? The answer is moral philosophy. 99. Which Roman satirist is best known for his surviving work titled Satyricon? Is it Horace, Persius, or Petronius? The answer is Petronius. And question 100. Which Roman poet is famous for his didactic epic poem titled De Rerum Natura? Is it Ovid, Horace, or Lucretius? The answer is Lucretius. And here's a bonus question. What is the title of the oldest haiku? What is the title of the oldest haiku? Let us know the answer in the comments and let us know how many points you scored, because that is the end of our quiz. And as we said at the beginning, we'd love you to tell us which award you receive: Champion, Master, Enthusiast, Apprentice, or Explorer. Write it in the comments below. Well, thanks a lot for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified on all of our upcoming videos. In the meantime though, there are plenty of quizzes already uploaded that you can try right now, so click on one and get involved with the next quiz. My name is Ellis and I've been your host today. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for playing at Quiz Class.